morning, everybody. Happy Halloween. Welcome to our spooky special. We are here. It is we, but not Mr. Taylor. It's me and Ferris. Ferris! There he is. Ferris the dog. It's me and Ferris the dog on a little trek. And for those people that love Alton Towers, you might be interested in this one because we are going to take Ferris, who is very keen to get out. We are going to take Ferris for a walk to the Chained Oak, which is the legend of, forms the basis of the ride Hex. So trek along with me and Mr. Ferris as we journey up to the Chained Oak. So me and Mr. Ferris. Mr. Ferris. There's Mr. Ferris. Me and Mr. Ferris have just got out of the car. The starting point for our trek today, if you would like to recreate it, is we are at the Ramblers Retreat, which is in the heart of Dimmingsdale. Show you the map. There we go. We are on National Forestry car park. I'll put the location up as a screenshot so you can see. But yeah, we're at the Ramblers Retreat, which is an epic tea room, and we will be making a stop after our walk. It doesn't actually open till 10 o'clock, so we're going to do the walk first, and then we can crack on with the more important stuff, which is food. So this is the Ramblers Retreat, and it's actually one of a pair of gatehouses that was built in the 1800s by the Earls of Shrewsbury, who also owned at that time Alton Abbey, which later became Alton Towers. So this was one of a pair of gatehouses that was used to alert people when the Earl was coming through in his carriage, to let them know, get the gates open, get everything ready, the Earl's coming. So this is one of the pair of gatehouses, and we'll take you to the second one after we've seen the Chained Oak. So Dimmingsdale is a beautiful part of the Staffordshire countryside, surrounded in Dimmingsdale by lots and lots and lots of country walks. I'm here on a regular basis most weeks, but basically the Earls of Shrewsbury, when they got Alton Towers, they decided they wanted to expand the land use, and they basically had Dimmingsdale and recreated it, particularly going up towards that way there, as a pleasure area. So they put in fishing ponds and things like that, and it is truly stunning. You can have lovely walks up there. But anyway, starting on our walk. So the Ramblers Retreat is there, and we've just crossed over this road, which I believe is called Red Road. We've crossed over this road, and we're going through this set of gates here, and it's signposted there as a public bridleway. So we're going through these set of gates here, and then we go through the gates and make sure we close the gates after us, because that's what we should do. So the weather's not great this morning, but it is the end of October, so it's a little bit damp. At least it's not raining just At least it's not raining just yet, and we can track on with our quest for the Chained Oak. We'll get into the bit of the legend of the Chained Oak in a minute. We'll just get a bit further on first. I'm just filming this as a complete walkthrough so that if anybody wants to recreate it, they know where to go. So the first bridge we're going to come to is this one here, also known as the Lord's Bridge, just over the river. So this would have been used, this path would have been used by the Earls to drive up towards Alton Towers, which always astounds me because the path really is not very wide. I appreciate trees would, the foliage is a bit more abundant than it would have been 200 years ago, but even so, still not overly wide paths, so it just shows how narrow and actually uncomfortable it must have been to actually ride in a carriage. So that's that. Come on, Mr. Ferris. There he is, Mr. Ferris. Mr. Ferris on a walk. Mr. Ferris isn't very pleased because he likes to be off his lead on these walks. But he's recently been castrated, and because of that, he's too bouncy to go off his lead. So he's on a walk, on a lead walk today. So we've just come over the second bridge. Sorry, that's me talking about Ferris's lack of body parts. We've just come over another bridge, which passes over what once was the railway line, the Churnick Valley railway line. And there's a little marker there, footpath marker. And we're going to follow it round to the right. And stay on this path and follow it round to the right. So that path just there, that's the old railway line. And again, it is a lovely flat walk. It's about, if you go that way, under the bridge there, that's about 2 miles to Oakermore. Well, 1.5 maybe. 1.5 miles to Oakermore. And if you carry on in that direction, sorry, I'm pointing that direction, that takes you to Denston, and that's probably about a 3-mile walk. All in all, if you did the whole thing, I'd say it was about 8.5 miles there and back. But it's a nice flat walk. You can go on your bikes, you can go on foot, you can go on horseback. Really nice flat walk to take. I'm one that do regularly. So back to our trek, because we're not going on the train today. We're not going on the train tracks today, are we, Ferris? He wants to go that way because we used to go that way. But we're going to go up towards the left. So the path to the train tracks goes that way, and we're going up towards the left, where they've built a couple of agility courses for dogs, which we won't do today because Ferris is on a lead walk. So there's one there, and the path does have a steady incline. It's nothing too traumatic, but you probably will hear me getting out of breath shortly. Little stream, and it's very quiet. It's very quiet today. This is a Friday morning in half term, and everybody, there was lots of traffic on the road today. I did manage to avoid some by going on back roads, but everybody is going to Alton Towers. So very quiet today. Quite often as well on the train track path, you can hear Alton Towers. So it passes just underneath, kind of, you can't see anything, but it passes underneath like the back of Nemesis and things like that. So you can hear the coasters, you can hear them running, you can hear people screaming. She's a bit bizarre when you're in the middle of a wood country to hear the sounds of a theme park, but quite nice in another way. So yeah, so we get over this little, it's not a bridge, but little streamy thing, and we keep going up. this is it, we've arrived. This is what remains of the chained oak. This is all that's left from the legend. Unfortunately, the weather has caused quite a lot of damage to the trees, and the chains are no longer holding the branches up. So what was once a massive mighty oak is now looking a little bit sad. We'll take you up there and show you in a minute, but I just turn around. You can see this is the path that we've come up with the last 2 dog agility jumps, and then just on the left hand side the oak is just there. So let's carry on, and you'll see, I mean, we've literally walked 5 minutes up the path, so it's not far. We can see on the left the steps up to the oak. So let's have a wander up. Being careful on these steps because they are very narrow and very steep and covered in leaves and very slippy. So I'm just going to stop there for a minute and show you the first of the chains that you can see. So this isn't made up. This is somebody that has chained the branches. Go a little bit further up again. We're at the top of the steps, and there you go. You can just about make out. That's probably the last chain that I can see. That's actually round the oak. I'll try and put some photos in of last time I was here, and there was a lot more chains. Don't pull, Ferris. Oh yeah, I know, there's one up there as well. So let's have a spooky storytelling of the legend of the chained oak. So legend has it that the Earl was passing through the carriageway on his way back to the Alton Towers, on his way home on a cold and stormy night, and the carriage had to be stopped because a beggar woman stepped out in front of the carriage and begged the Earl for some money or some food or just general help. The legends vary. And he callously told her no, thrust her aside and ordered the carriage to drive on. So the beggar woman cursed him and said that his family would be cursed, and for every branch that fell from the oak where the Earl refused to stop, every branch that fell from this oak, a member of his family would die. Now the Earl, being the callous, heartless man that he supposedly was, ignored this, carried on home and got on with his business. Didn't think about it again until 4 days later, when a branch from the tree fell and one of his family, supposedly his son, died. So thinking back on that, the Earl went to probably didn't go himself, probably had servants, went to the chained oak and chained up all the branches, and therein lies the legend of the chained oak. I can confirm that probably the last big branch fell in 2007, and no members of the Talbot family, which is the Earls of Shrewsbury's family, no members of the Talbot family died. So read into that what you will. Just to give you the variations on the legend as well. So one local legend says it wasn't a beggar woman, it was actually a man, and another one says that the Earl's son was out horse riding one day by the oak and a branch fell off, knocked him off his horse and killed him. There you go. Oh, I can just hear rides in the background. You take what you will from it. Local historians have dated the legend to be about 1821, which would make it the 15th Earl of Shrewsbury. Alton Towers Heritage, however, thinks it's a little later in the 1840s and would therefore be the 16th Earl of Shrewsbury. But he was rumoured to be a very kind man, gave money to the poor, built lots of churches. Just doesn't really, him refusing a coin for a beggar woman doesn't really fit in with his personality. So, you know, it's a local legend. There are definitely chains on the tree. Who put them there? I don't know. They've been there for as long as I've been alive, and obviously a lot longer. There are some padlocks on there, surprisingly, which obviously I think are a new addition, and maybe that's the whole padlocking things when you're in love and, you know, things like that. Maybe that started to happen. But yeah, there's your spooky legend for Halloween. And if you want to come and see the chained oak while there are still branches left, then you can. I've shown you the way from the Ramblers Retreat. I'm just going to walk up to the other end of the drive, show you the other gatehouse, and you can see how to get there from that end as well. Okay, so getting down from the chained oak was a lot more treacherous than getting up, especially with Mr. Ferris trying to run down as fast as he could. So anyway, I've got my back to the chained oak. If I go right, that will take me back to the Ramblers Retreat. If I go left, that's going to take me up towards Alton Towers. So we're going to go left, and we'll show you the other matching gatehouse lodge. Well, I've just taken my coat off because I've got quite warm, and we're just carrying on with the steady incline up the path. There isn't really anywhere to go at the end of this path. It just takes you onto the main road to Towers. So we're coming up to the end of the path. I can just see through the trees the end of the road, and this is all the traffic queuing to get into Alton Towers. We are quite a way down here, so these people in these cars have got a little queue already. The first queue of the day at Alton Towers. Anyway, coming up on the left, through these trees behind this one here, you can see, hopefully, you can see the Pink Lodge. And this was the second gatehouse built. It's an impressive building. And this is the second gatehouse. And the end of the path, because just across the way, across the very busy road, in that lay-by there, in the lay-by, that would be where the bottom entrance to Alton Towers would be, and that's where the Earls would have gone through the entrance, just over there. So the road's very busy. I'm not going to get a proper photo of the lodge today, but that's where it is. And if you turn around, if you're looking for somewhere to stay just outside of Alton Towers, just along this road, Chained Oak Bed and Breakfast, which is actually just behind the actual Chained Oak. So yeah, there's the bottom entrance to Alton Towers. I don't think you'll pick it up through the camera, but just through the trees I can see Oblivion's lift. So anyway, all these people in the cars, have a lovely day at Towers. Don't get too scared. And we are on our way back down the path with me and Mr. Ferris. We're going to get some food. Aren't we, Mr. Ferris? He says yes, please. So, back down the path. There isn't really another way out. Oh, look, that's a bit spooky, isn't it? Spooky shed for Halloween. I don't know if you can hear behind me the screams. But yeah, that just up through there, that is some of the buildings for the Chained Oak B&B. Never stayed there, not been, but they look quite nice on the internet. I believe there is a kind of, not footpath, but a right of way through the fields up to Alton Towers on foot if you're staying at the Chained Oak. It's really not very safe to walk on the road, and it's actually probably another half a mile, 3/4 of a mile further on from here. Not much if you're going across fields, but it'd have to be a nice day. And also I don't know if there's cows in the fields, and I don't like cows, so. But I think the owners would help you and, you know, give you directions if you wanted to go that way. And you know, if you're staying at the Alton Towers Hotel, or you're just staying in the local area and you've got a couple of hours free, come on down and have a look. Come and look at Denningsdale. It's beautiful, beautiful countryside, lovely walks. Doesn't matter what time of the year, winter, autumn, summer. Summer actually, it's really busy, really, really busy. Autumn and winter, there's nobody here. But come down, have a little wander. Let the kids climb up to the oak. Not climb on the oak, because, you know, that's dangerous. But let them come and run, jump, play in the water, have an explore, go on an adventure, find an adventuring thing. Just getting silly now. So, yeah, come on down and see. So what have I been walking? 2-3 minutes? And the dark tree on the right hand side, we're back to the Chained Oak. So that's the darker tree. It really doesn't look very impressive anymore. Obviously, I'll find some pictures from before. Clearly weather's taken its toll on it, causing more branches to fall. More. But actually, you know, I mean, it's 10 o'clock in the morning here. There is nobody else here, and do you know what? It's actually quite eerie. I'm actually not a big fan. Would never catch me here at night. Not a chance. Not a chance. So, bye Chained Oak. And back down the path we go. Back to civilization. So yeah, although it is up a small incline, it's nothing that's going to trouble most people. The path is accessible to buggies, prams, wheelchairs, although you would have to have a bit of a push, scooters. Obviously you couldn't get up to the actual chained oak on a wheelchair or scooters, but you can get to the bottom. Yeah, I'm just thinking, if I came at night, I think it would be like an episode of the Blair Witch for me. You'd just see me with a beanie hat and a snotty nose. Fortunately there's no, I've yet to find any pagan dolls hanging from trees. Otherwise that would be an end of visiting this area for me. Mr. Ferris, for anybody that's interested, is a cross between a border collie and a Labrador. And he's called Ferris after Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller. That's one of my favourite 80s films. So he's called Ferris. Although sometimes it's called Ferret. Aren't you, Ferret? See, he answers to everything. Because he's a good boy. Very difficult to tire out, is Mr. Ferris. So back to the path we go. And coming back to this junction again. So to the left, we've got the junction that takes you onto the railway line. And we're going to go straight on, over the bridge, back towards the Ramblers Retreat. So we're just back to the bridge again. To the right, there's a little set of steps down to the railway line. We're going to go back over the bridge. Over the railway bridge. So quiet, so peaceful. Go, second bridge, Lord's Bridge, over the river. Excuse my sniffing. Back over the river we go. And if you did want to do this walk, you don't need to follow maps, you know, it's all on paths. So it's easy to do. Paths do get a bit muddy, so you will need some wet weather gear. Just going back through the gate again, closing the gate. There's the Ramblers. Over the road we go. And we're going to go in and get something to eat. Ramblers is lovely even if you don't fancy a walk. You just want to drive to it and get something. Very good food. Always busy at the weekends. So you can eat inside or you can eat outside. We're always outside because we've got the dog. So there's the inside bits. And then they've got lots of tables under cover around this corner. And then they've also, which I'll show you again, there's the inside again. Got some little huts where you can go and eat in there, which I believe have got heating. Lots more sitting over there. And we're here at the order window. So I will show you the menu shortly, but there's a list of the cakes. So dog treats. And a basket of blankets so you can take with you. And then you order at one window and pick your order up at the next. So this is Mr. Taylor's Victoria sponge to take home because he can't come today because he's working. So I'll pack that up and he can take that home with him. Show you the menu. So I've just had my pancakes. Mr. Ferris is getting his special treat. Ferris, sit down. Nicely. Good boy. Ferris likes to come to the Ramblers because he gets bits of leftover bacon. Nicely. Good boy. Sometimes on a hot day he gets a doggy ice cream, but not today. Good boy. Just left the Ramblers, just out of the door, and then up that way, some more walks. We're going to go back around this way. 10 out of 10 would recommend Ramblers to anyone. Really, really nice food, always fresh. Always homemade. There is a bit of a wait at the weekends just because of the amount of people, but yeah, really nice, and me and Ferris always enjoy it. Although we don't stop there all the time, do we, Ferris? Only on special occasions. So that's it for our Halloween special. Hope you enjoyed the Legend of the Chained Oak. Hope you all come and visit it while it's still got chains on it and it's still standing. If you don't mind, let me just put the cake down. If you can, like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, please, 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 it makes such a difference. If you like the content and you want to see more, let us know. If you want to see more walks, let us know. If you want to see more Ferris, let us know. Whatever you like. Alright, happy Halloween everyone.